So let's look at Bitcoin here. Right now, we're within this weekly order block here. So this is a weekly bearish order block here. That's resistance. This is an area where we could potentially see price pull back. Now, looking at the high time frame here, I do think that there is a chance that we pull back to the middle of this range. If you go from the all-time high to this low, the mid-range of this entire price leg is right around 42,000 and this high time frame consolidation here. So there absolutely is an argument to be made that we trade up into this area. We also have this weekly fair value gap right here. So this, to me, high time frame seems to be a draw on price way up here. I've been posting about this area for a while. I updated a tweet where I talked about it when we first kind of got to right under 30K. Doesn't mean we're going to go here in a straight line, but we have 3 weeks of consolidation and now a big push up. So it'll be interesting to see how this weekly candle closes. But I do think 34 to 36K, very possible for Bitcoin. We are into some resistance here though. So when we come into high time frame resistance, I look for signs of weakness or potential weakness. It doesn't mean I think we're going to fucking zero and the top is in, but if we get some sort of pullback and we might drop 5 or 6%, maybe I want to short, or maybe I want to have an opportunity to long from lower. So that's what I want to be looking for. So we have this fresh price leg on Bitcoin that we've now confirmed. We have our low here. You could argue that this is your low, but basically the same thing. Either of these lows work. They're both swing lows. This low to our fresh swing high. And we have a 12-hour order block here in the bottom. And we have this entire area as kind of like a 12-hour fair value gap. So the way that I'm operating now here, kind of short term, is I want to see the daily close, which is in about an hour and a half. If we close as an SFP of the high, which let's say the candle closed right now, this would be an SFP of this high. So a move above, close back below. That would be an SFP. If we close as a 12-hour SFP within this weekly resistance, I would then go down to the hourly and I would potentially look for some sort of low time frame trigger. So I'd say, okay, maybe we're breaking this trend line. We've got our breaker set up here, and maybe we sell off down to here and potentially even to here. That could be a short idea, or you could just monitor it to pull back and then look to get long. The trend is up. So the 12-hour trend is bullish. So if we get a pullback into this 12-hour range, it's for longing. So the first thing you're going to want to do is figure out, are we going to get that pullback? And that's going to be apparent up here. We're up in the upper part of the range. If we get the rejection and then we get the market structure break and the shift in trend on the low time frame to the downside, then great. We wait for price to pull back, and then we look for price to maybe come back to this 12-hour demand, or maybe it settles within this order block or this fair value gap here, right? Maybe it doesn't come all the way down here. Maybe it only comes to this low. Regardless, we look then for the hourly to get bullish, and then we get long, expecting a new high to be made. So what we're playing is this price leg, and what I'm hoping for is I want to see a pullback into a higher low that I can then get long for the next leg higher on price. So that's all I'm really looking at right now. The daily close, then see if we get a low time frame shift to the downside. If we do, maybe I short, or maybe I just wait and see if I can get a long lower. And I'm looking to long in the lower part of this 12-hour range. So that's what I'm watching for right now. Very simple. The 12-hour chart's been working really, really well. I got faked out on a signal in here, but as you guys know, I flipped long on Ethereum and was able to capture this upside move, even though Bitcoin faked me out because it was a little bit sticky in here. But this is a very clean price leg. So if we get that pullback, I'm looking for reasons to long the dip. Bullish market structure on the low time frame to get long. If we break above the highs, which we definitely can, just because we have a range here does not mean we have to pull back here. We can just go and make a new high from here. Well, what would happen if we make a new high? We would then have a new 12-hour range. So let's say we make a new high to 31.5. This candle just closes up like this. Okay, now I've got a new swing low, a new swing high, and a fresh 12-hour order block. This would then be where I'm looking to long the dip if it comes down to. So that's the game plan right now for Bitcoin. We're waiting to see how the daily close. We get some sort of sweep up here. could be a short opportunity. We're looking to long the dip. If we close through the highs, we're then going to find our new price leg, and that's where we'll operate in. But for now, we're operating in this price swing. That's the low time frame plan. Obviously, looking at the weekly right now, like I said here, guys, we're in a large weekly range right now. From here up to here, right? Or you could argue that we're still putting in the range, but technically that is your swing. So if we get any sort of large dip into this lower part of this weekly range here, into this weekly breaker, I wanted to bid this breaker here. If you guys remember, I was like, hey, if it dips to this breaker, I want to bid it. It never came down here. It can still come here, right? Now we have a swing low right here. So perhaps that this is, hey, maybe we push a little higher and then we run that low and then we continue up. I don't know. But the weekly chart, this is the area of interest. If we get a very strong correction, this is the area where I'd be looking for the bullish market structure to reappear on the weekly and it be a higher low. So what I just explained to you on the H12, we have our order block and we're trading up here. And I'm saying, hey, I want to buy potentially down here if I can for the next leg up and the higher low of this range. That's exactly the same as what I'm talking about on the weekly here. This is our range and I would love to buy the higher low here. That's Bitcoin done and dusted, 12 hour down to the 1 hour. You now have a plan. You now know, regardless of what happens, you have a game plan. If this happens, you know what to do. If we break above here, you know what to do. If we pull back down to here, you know what to do.
Real quick, guys, this video is brought to you in partnership with Utrust. So as you guys know, I've been working with Utrust for a while. This is a company that I have invested in personally, and they've continued to iterate and grow and get more market share over the last couple of years. And with all the craziness that's going on in the crypto space right now, it's great to see a company like Utrust still focusing on privacy and making a real world use case for crypto for payments. So you can do online payments with digital currencies. It gives e-commerce businesses the ability to accept digital currencies and get all the benefits of that you wouldn't get with traditional payment methods. Used in over 180 countries, nearly every industry. They support more than 30 currencies worldwide, and they're partnered with some of the biggest businesses and organizations around the globe. What's really exciting,
they're going to be rolling out the X Portal app. That's coming out on April 14th. And this is going to be their new wallet app. The UI is super slick, easy to navigate. This is going to be where you can take advantage of all the things that the Multiverse X, Utrust, eGold team is doing. You're going to be able to hold crypto on there, buy crypto. There'll be a card associated with it. Very exciting stuff. Congratulations on that major milestone to the Utrust team. Let's get back to the video. Do you think long-term BTC should revisit 19K at least? It's impossible to say. I do not know. Would I like to buy fucking cheap Bitcoin again? Of course. But looking at PA just strictly as is, like on the weekly, based on this structure, I don't really think it should trade below this lower white line. So the dream scenario for me, I don't know how high it goes, but is a big pullback eventually into here before continuation. That's where I would buy more spot if I got so lucky. Could be completely wishful thinking, of course, and we can just continue to chat and be at 40K in a month. I don't know, but high time frame, just like we were operating on that 12-hour range, right? The weekly range until this candle closes is here. This is our weekly range right now. This is obviously looking like it's going to close well through, but if this for some reason SFPs over the next couple of days, then maybe we get a deeper retracement. I don't know. 19K seems pretty low. Like that would be a 30-40% pullback. Is it possible? Of course. We've seen Bitcoin pull back huge percentages before. That alone was a 22% pullback. Previous bull runs, there's a 30% pullback. So it's not impossible, but I would like to think that kind of, 22 to 24 would be the area where the pullback stops. Let's look at Ethereum here. So Ethereum, if you guys been following in Telegram, I posted this trade in there with stop, entry, and target, and it hit for, multiple R, and I gave you guys the re-entry as well. So I longed this dip, and then I gave you guys the entry on this one. So I'll go over what happened, and then we can go over what I think's next. So if you remember, the reason I longed Ethereum was I thought the chart was cleaner because we were trading here, right? When we were trading here, right? This is April 5th. what was Bitcoin doing? It was in this kind of choppy consolidation where we're running the highs, we're running the lows. Ethereum was very clear. We made a low and a higher high. So it just was clear to me. It doesn't matter to me that Bitcoin ended up going up more initially, because now Ethereum is catching up. What chart was easier for me to read and easier for me to see a setup on? It was Ethereum. So I had our low to our high. I marked out the order block and I said, hey, if we come down here, I want to bid. We came down into the order block. We put in an H12 SFP, go down to the hourly, multiple opportunities to get long here off of breakers, order blocks, H1 SFPs. There was multiple signals here, which I gave you the one I took. I put the RR tool on there. Ethereum, I gave you the fucking RR tool. There's no more I can do. I gave you the legit stop entry target. Okay. So like, and banged, right? It banged. So that was entry number one. H12, pull back into the order block, target the high. We're expecting this to be a higher low. Remember what I just said here? Pull back, we're expecting it to be a higher low. And then you target a new high. That's exactly what played out here. What were people saying about Ethereum right here? Ethereum's dead. Ethereum BTC is going to zero. Ethereum Shanghai's coming up. Super bearish. They shorted into the higher low. That was trade number one. And then the second setup that I showed you guys is I said, hey, we just SFP'd on the H12 here. What does that mean? It means that this is now an H12 breaker. I posted this before it was even a breaker. I posted it here. I said, if this breaks high, which it did, this becomes a breaker. Breaks up, comes down, tests the breaker. There's your next leg. Is there not a setup here on the hourly that you can take for this breaker, right? There absolutely is. And you guys are starting to see this stuff without me, which is awesome, right? I'm giving you the tools to the toolkit, teaching you to fish. You guys are fishing. So this one was pretty straightforward, pretty bread and butter. And I gave you guys both levels where the reaction was going to happen. And a lot of you longed it, which is awesome. So my favorite channel in the Discord is the Wins channel, because I love going in there and seeing you guys fucking crush it. It genuinely makes me happy. So now, where is the target for Ethereum off of this breaker? First target was the previous high here. Now we've pushed up. We're above 2K. We have August high over here. So it's a monthly high, and I believe it's a quarterly high as well. Yeah, so this is a quarterly high, 3-month candle high, monthly high, very key level. This is the same as Bitcoin at 25K. Back here, same level, August high. Bitcoin is well beyond it. What does that mean? It means FBTC has been getting smoked and Bitcoin dominance has been going up. Yes, that's the case. Look what happened when Bitcoin took out August high. Peaked above it, pulled back, the next month fucking rocketed. Maybe we see something similar here. Maybe we see a slight move above and then a pullback. I don't know. We will go above this high. We came very close today, within $5. This will be a key area to watch. If we get some sort of rejection up here, I don't know yet. But we have a clear upside objective, and then we're gonna wait and see how price reacts. We have a high time frame liquidity pool up there. We also have our new range. So wherever this high, maybe this becomes the swing high. The next candle closes like this. Now we have our new range to work within that we'll be looking to buy the dip into. This is just staircasing its way up, and we're just following it along. And eventually it's gonna fucking pull back hard and it's gonna blow through this, right? So eventually this will not work. You're gonna get it. Eventually this will come down here and they'll just keep going. Well, guess what? The market has just shown its hand that it wants lower. Now we're looking to short the next retrace. Simple as that. You're not gonna get it 100% of the time, but you keep playing it until it doesn't work anymore. We also had Monday's range here, which played out beautifully with the breaker. We had the breaker here. We came above Monday's high. Go check Telegram. I said everyone should mark Monday's high on Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I said Monday's range in play for Ethereum. Came all the way from the high, deviated, bearish retest, all the way to the low, into that demand, bang, back up to the upside. Played out beautifully. So that's just another layer of confluence. But as you can see, you don't even need Monday's range. So Ethereum now, we are going to watch, and we're going to have to see where the next couple candles close. I want to see this daily candle close, and then I want to see the next daily candle close. Just like on Bitcoin, initially it was here, but then we made a higher high the next day. Now we've got a 3-candle swing. So I need to see that on Ethereum. I need to see this next 12-hour candle close, and then I can mark out my new low and my new potential high, and then yeah, my area of interest for a potential pullback. So that's the plan for Ethereum right now. Need to see some more candle closures. I'm pretty sure maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but we're gonna run August high, and then I want to see what happens around there. This is going to be a key high, and I expect some sort of reaction.